Good. So I have, how many of you are here for the very first time today? Wow. How about giving them a big hand? We want to welcome you. We are good to go now. And anyways, you didn't miss anything that was relevant. The best that was supposed to happen is right here, happening right now on this stage. And if you're here new to this business, I have the privilege of talking to 5 diverse people. I would have never known them in my life. I have no connection with them. And I got to know them only because I am a part of this business and a part of Brit Worldwide. And the common thing between all 5 of them, they belong to different areas, different backgrounds. The common thing between all of them is that they enjoy a privilege which I call the uncommon freedom. That's what these people are privileged to. So, before anything else, why don't I quickly ask them to just introduce themselves? Why don't you guys tell a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background?
My name is Ratish. I come from a very simple middle class family in Ludhiana, Punjab. My father is a traditional business owner. I was always a good student and I went to IIT Delhi and did my graduation from there. The job brought me to Bangalore 15 years back. When I was at IIT, my father lost everything in his business overnight and I had to manage through college by giving tuitions. And then I came to Bangalore 15 years back, worked for companies like Philips, Motorola, SAP Labs and things like that. Till about 2 years back when I was able to retire my boss 2 years back. And I had always had a good upbringing despite the fact that we didn't have too much money at home. We had good principles and I was told I can achieve whatever I set my mind to.
Folks, I'm Samarjit. My birthplace Assam. My dad used to work in railways there and I've done my schooling over there, but I did my BTech in computer science from Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology. That's way in Arunachal Pradesh. And for over 8.5 years, I've worked in avionics industry, basically software for the aeroplanes, Boeing and Airbus projects. A prestigious job, level A, level B software related to people's lives, DO 178B standards, big stuff. I was very proud of what I was doing, and but otherwise just another IT guy in Bangalore.
Hi, this is Vinay. We're originally from Bangalore. I grew up in Delhi in a place called Ghaziabad. I did my BTech from IIT Roorkee. After that, I was working with TCS and then Infosys for around 14 years. I was heading a competency development group in Infosys. But I saw this business, a few years back, and this business gave us the opportunity to retire 4 years back. I could say bye-bye to my boss, and today we enjoy a truly fulfilled life.
Hi friends, I'm Manoj. I graduated from NIT Trichy with an electronics and communication degree. I was placed on campus with Infosys, and then I moved on to HCL, HP, Oracle. Close to 8.5 years I worked in IT industry, and I saw this business when I was 23, and I built this for 7 years, and I was 30, I was able to retire when I was in MLL qualification.
Hey everyone, my name is Kashyap Samal. I originally belong to Odisha, Bhubaneswar. Graduated out of NIT Roorkela, which is in the state of Odisha. Got picked up in campus, started working in General Electric, and I have worked as an engineering leader for General Electric for almost like 13 years. Last year I took retirement out of my corporate career. I have a few intellectual properties to my credit. I have been totally technologically involved in what I have been doing so far in my career, except for this business, which is so nice.
All right. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about what was the reason you got started in this business? I mean, none of you belong to a business kind of a training, business kind of a background, but why did you get started in this business?
So I figured out very early that we need to be in our own business to financially succeed in life. But then I was already working somewhere. There was a time limitation, there was a capital limitation. I could not come up with lakhs of rupees as a startup cost. So this business turned out to be a great way where somebody could support me, really hold my hand and mentor me. Without disturbing my current occupation, I could actually get started in a business. And then a business, of course, produces wealth, and I could become very wealthy through this business.
So Kashyap, did you ever try a business before this?
Yeah, in fact, I was so entrepreneurial that I actually, in fact, had set up my own business. I used to come out of office at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evenings. In fact, I had set up my office in MG Road. I had a couple of employees working from me, had licensed software, had a great startup, had 100K in VC funding from a Canadian venture fund. But then, the dot-com bubble happened, and I could totally underestimate the capital requirement completely, and there was no mentorship. So it didn't work out, but I learned some lessons out of it.
So I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, coincidentally much before I saw this business by an author called Robert Kiyosaki. And having read that book, one thing was very clear is that, either I can work very hard, putting the best years of my life, building somebody else's legacy by working a job, or I can build my own legacy by building my own business. But what business, what to start and how to build it was something, I was not too sure about because I'm not from a business background. But when I got invited for a business proposal, I said instantly yes because I was looking. But when I saw the plan, it was very logical. It was, very mathematically flawless. But I didn't know whether I could do it. I didn't know whether the idea would really work in the market. But when I came to a gathering like this, when I saw the track record of Brit worldwide, I was totally sold out that it's possible if I can follow the principles that they teach, and that's what happened to us. Thank you.
Well, both my parents were come from a corporate background. They were working in a corporate world. So business was always, something we always looked up to. I always looked up to from the beginning. So initial years in the IT industry was a Control-C, Control-V kind of atmosphere. I worked for 3 to 4 years in the industry before I saw this business, and it was like 1 year, 3 times, the same thing, same mundane thing, same thing you're doing, and there's no excitement, there's no energy. And I was looking, I was hungry, I was not sure what I needed to do, but somebody invited me to a business meeting here, and I could see the stark difference. I could see energy, I could see a different world altogether, a lot of enthusiasm. So, stark difference between a boredom, monotonous kind of a thing for 30, 40 years versus something which you can, do and get retirement. It's like watching a test match versus a T20. Job was test match, this was T20.
Awesome. Guys, when I started this business, Kashyap, whom you see here on the stage, he's my upline, and he mentored me, guided me through the mental part of this business. And he had a business outside his job, which he just talked about. And he explained to me that, Sam, every employee who sees this business with the eyes of an employee. And he said, but if your company's owner would see this business, he would think differently. What he would see is, okay, I have to do this project. Where can I get the human resource? Where I can get the technology? Where I can get the infrastructure to help me out in this project? Whereas an employee thinks, oh, can I do it? How can I do it? That is their thought process. And so he explained me, just like here, our own upline founders, Diamond Ankur, he makes thousands of dollars in US business, sitting here in Bangalore. But there are so many Americans, I'm sure, in America, who are thinking, how can I do this business? And here he is in India making money in that country, right? And similarly, there are a lot of NRIs and foreigners who are minting crores of money from Indian market in this business, although they are physically not there. So he helped me understand that whatever parameters you have in life, you can do it because there is enough resources in front of you to help you out with.
This is Ratish. Ankur is my classmate from IIT Delhi. He came and showed me the plan in my home. And as I told you, I was looking for an extra source of income because I had to send money home. My family was not doing very well financially. So I was quite happy to see that he was showing me. I was inspired, and I thought to myself, I already have 6 years of experience in conceptualizing of what business I can do, but I have not done anything. We used to sit late at night with friends and make plans of what we can do, but we never did anything about it. And he was doing something. However, like all educated people, I had a commitment problem. Commitment problem? So I thought I'll do some research. So I told Ankur, give me some time. And guess what research I did? I Googled. And it threw up a whole lot of negative about it. Now the thought that came to my mind was, when Ankur showed me the plan, he sounded excited, he sounded sure about what he was doing. I knew him. So I decided better to do something than do nothing, and I got started.
Guys, I have a background in electrical engineering, and after I did my electrical engineering at IIT Delhi, I used to work for a chip design company. And I worked for a very short time, for a short 5 years. And when I started working, one of the things that I felt was College time is over. Haven't we had enough fun? We were in school, we were in college, we've had the time of our life. How long do we want to stay in the same college zone? And I wanted to really come in the money-making zone. And when I saw this business, I saw it as an opportunity to shift the gears. And that's how I kind of jumped both feet into this business. And the people you see here, you see them in these nice jazzy suits. But you know what, when they signed up, none of them look like this. Actually, I want you to just imagine in your mind's eye and see 5 of these people with either a sandal or a chappal or a sneakers and a pair of jeans for most of them, some of them torn. And I'd like you to see them in round neck t-shirts. And I'd like you to see some of them in long hair. Maybe, one year might have had something and the other year might not have had something. That's the kind of people they were. So the starting point and the ending point is going to be very different, It's not going to be the same. People will change. You might not think that this person in your seat today can succeed, but it's going to be a different person who will succeed and you will become that. So, why don't you guys talk a little bit about what
Except for me, Ankur, right? I was already handsome when you showed me the plan, right?
How was your initial experience in the business? When you started the business, obviously it didn't start working right from day one. What was your initial experience in the business?
Okay, when I show the plan these days to people, they say that, I want to talk to my parents and get their opinion about it, right? So I already knew what my parents will say if I gave them a call and asked them. So you know what I did? I didn't call them. I decided, let me try the business first, make some money, and then take their opinion on it. Doesn't that sound a little better? And what happened was, when I started showing the plan, a lot of my friends told me negative about the business, and they said, this business is no good, it won't work, you can't do it, all different kinds of variations, right? I had only one question. I said, okay, I won't do this business, show me an alternative. Show me a way, and you mentor me in that. And if you can't, don't stop me. In school times, we used to make fun of some children, we used to tease some children. And there were some children we could not dare to tease, right? Whom did we used to tease? The ones who get teased. So I learned from the Brit Worldwide system how to be strong and stand your ground. Because if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for everything.
Wow. Folks, for me, few CDs upfront given by uplines to me, and a conference like this, that took all the doubts from my mind whether this business works or not. So business works or not, that was gone within a month. Right? So I had complete belief that this business works. But then process started where I had to do it. I had to get it done. And that took time because I didn't come from HR background, if you know what I mean. I was a technical guy. Didn't know how to deal with people. I was on their face, didn't know the tact part, how to deal. And that came with little bit of study as I worked and gained some experience in the business, failed a little bit. But then books taught me, uplines taught me how to get that thing done, how to basically handle people, handle their queries and objections. And from that point on, it was very, very simple.
Well, if you have to be above average, you have to do what average people, you should not do what average people are doing. That's exactly was my experience. All our friends, relatives, nobody garlanded me. People said, it will not work in India, you don't know Indian mindset, Indian mentality is different, all that. But then thanks that we were part of this association and we were getting the right input. And, I always believe that, success mindset, success principles are universal. So, for me, working in a job in Infosys with thousands of people coming out of the bus and getting to the employee, you're one among the many. So when I learned that, these people are not willing to do, that's exactly the reason we want to do. Why? Because you want to be different. Narayan Murthy started IT when nobody was thinking about IT. So he has what he has. So I don't want to have what these people have. So the confidence was, we're going to be different and we'll get something very big.
So when I saw this business, I got excited about the money aspect of it. But when it came to a point where, how do I build it? I realized I was a very introverted person by nature. And for me, I was very self-conscious to expose this to anybody whom I knew before. So I, in fact, didn't talk to a single person whom I knew about this business for the first more than a couple of years, because it was so strong in my heart that, they would judge me. So I decided that anyways, I want to make it through this. There's no other option. So I decided to learn how to do this business with people whom you totally don't know, because if you ask somebody whom you don't know, are you interested in doing something of your own? they would say yes if they're really interested. They won't be obligated. So that way it was much easier for me to take that path. But it took me a year to professionally learn how to propose this and get results. So I had only one person who signed up in the first 1 year of my business. But now we have thousands of people in our organization. And if you see, none of these people I know before I started this business. Okay, that way I really feel that, there's a possibility to explore possibilities beyond what a person gets as a question when he sees this business.
When I saw this business, I was extremely skeptic, unbelievable. I had dozens of questions about the products, about the people involved in the business, about the corporation. But then see, you have two choices. Either you can choose to be an intelligent skeptic who looks for answers to the questions that he has, or you can just choose to remain a pain valina skeptic. You keep all the questions to yourself. I chose to be the former. I wanted to find answers to the questions. So I was almost like 8-9 months. I had a very slow beginning. I would associate, I'll come to all meetings, but I would not open my mouth. I would not say a word. I was just observing everything. So if you are here for the first time, I'll recommend you be the first one. You look for answers. The business is $12 billion enterprise, so there is no question that you can really ask that has not been figured out yet.
For me, when I think back, every time somebody told me that this will not work or I was in the wrong thing, the only question that came to my mind was, if not this, then what? Because I did not know of any other thing in the world which gave the package that this business gave. The fame and the money and the time and the friendships and the leadership and the travel around the world. I mean, that package was just not available anywhere. So every time the thought came to my mind, and the thought really did come to my mind many times, maybe this is not for me, maybe it will not work for me. But the next thought was, if not this, then I just have to go back to my good old job. That's it. And that was very single faceted. The only thing I was making there was money. None of the other things were coming along with it. So the moment that thought came to my mind, there was a new energy inside me, and I wanted to go back again. So that's what kept me going, and that's how my initial days in the business were. I'd like to ask all of you, do you really think that anybody in this room can do it? There are people who are from all kinds of personalities, all backgrounds. Some people don't believe they can do it, but do you really believe that anybody in this room can reach to the top, highest levels of this business?
Do you really want to know the answer? Say yes. It's a resounding yes. Everybody sitting here in this auditorium can do this business. See, one thing we have to keep it in mind, how an enterprise is built. An enterprise is started by one person, but then it explodes, it scales up because an organization is built. It explodes because a team is created. Think about how Ambani started their business. They would have started sole, but then they found other people who bought into their dream, and they started participating, started working hard, and it just fanned out. So the same way this business can work out. There's tremendous compounding opportunity available through this business. Please take a serious look at it.
If I really look at what I did to build this business, every day, I had to go to office just like anybody else, just like any IT guy. I had to drive from Koramangala to Whitefield and work for 9 hours, drive back home, and I had to sleep for 6-7 hours a day. I had to have 3 meals a day, and I cannot change any of these things. Our life is just like any other IT guy's life is, really. But the only thing I could change was the way I think. I could think that instead of doing a full-time job and think that I'm doing a part-time business, I started thinking that I'll do a full-time business and a part-time job. But actually the thing is, I cannot do this full-time, but I can think that I can do something in the business every single day. And that's all we did. We just took a decision to do something in the business every day, and we kept doing it. Over the years, it all added up, and suddenly we got where we are here. Right? And I'm sure everybody here would agree to that fact that, nothing, when I look back at the journey, I don't remember a single given day when we did something so radical, so drastic.